All right, let's talk about competing against the best is hard and it's fun at the same time. You know, we are living in a generation where this might not be your sport, but I've got a lot of tennis athletes, and right now we have Roger Federer, uh, Rafael Nadal, and Novak Djokovic, right? And they're in this massive race for the most wins ever. Some have more titles than others. Some are tied for titles. Like have more titles than Grand Slams versus others. It reminds me when I was growing up, when I was competing for the Olympics, and I was competing in the sport of luge on the women's side. The German athletes, the German women are dominant, and they're still dominant. But at the time, they were like really dominant. And I remember we had athletes on our team uh, who wished that those athletes, those German athletes, would just retire and be done, so that it would like, give an opportunity for other countries to win. And I always found that really interesting because basically, when you say something like that, you're not really a competitor at that point. You're looking for charity. You're looking for people to relinquish their greatness so that you can get some. And that's really not what this is about. The the tough thing when you're an athlete and you're competing and you may be in a sport or an era or a region where you have this really high level of competition, right? You've got really good quality talent. You may be part of that. The idea is not to hope for things to get easier. It's to plan for you to get better. I think Jim Rohn was the guy who first said that. Don't wish things were easier, wish you were better. And that is so true when it comes to sports. So here's what happens. When you wish that that competitor that you're up against, whether they're on your team or they're in your sport and they're just kind of clogging up the metal, the top, and you just wish they would just go away. When you do that, your brain no longer looks for solutions. So so when you think like, oh, I just wish those guys would just quit and get out of here. Well, you're just waiting for that to happen. But if you ask a different question, if you ask, well, how can I become better? Right? How can I beat those people? Then your brain starts to look for answers. It starts giving you answers. So instead of wishing things were either easier, wish that you were better. Or not, don't wish that you were better. Plan to be better. And when you realize that little mental shift can make all the difference, then you start coming up with solutions. You'll start noticing things about who you are, how you train, how you act, how you sleep at night, what you eat. Like your brain will start finding all these different solutions. And a great way to do that, to kind of trigger that, is to ask like, well, what if? So let's say you're a tennis player and Roger Federer is at the top and you just wish he would just retire. Well, if you just wish he retired, then and you go off and you eat Cheetos, you haven't really improved much. But if you look at him and go like, well, what if I beat what if I could beat Roger Federer? What if I could figure out, what would I do? Or when you ask those what if questions, when you ask better questions, you start getting better answers. Then you can take better action and then you get better results, right? That's that loop, right? So ask a better question instead of like, how long till I retire? Instead of like, well, how could I beat them? What do I need to do? Maybe I need to lose weight. Maybe I need to gain weight, right? Maybe I need to be stronger. Maybe I need to be more flexible. Maybe I need better equipment. Maybe I need a sponsor to travel to a certain place and compete, work with a certain coach. You start getting a better loop. So when you want better results, ask a better question. But it all starts here with like when you're in that environment where you're up against the greatest, remember you're growing up at a pretty interesting time. Like if your sport is clogged with great people, realize that you are going to have to do some things that are significant, right, to break in. But that's where the cool things happen. Like you're going to learn very cool things on how to navigate that very competitive environment, and you'll be able to take that with you for the rest of your life. Whereas if you just go like, oh, I will, if those athletes weren't there, I would have been on the podium. That's not something you take with you for the rest of your life. If anything, that's a burden, right? It doesn't help you. So instead of wishing it was easier, wish that you were better, right? Let me know what you come up with. Leave a comment below. If you haven't already, wherever you're seeing this, subscribe, hit the like button, like leave a comment, there's a topic you want me to cover, let me know. See you soon.